You know, one of the biggest things about pro wrestling is everybody is literally talking about WWE and AEW, and that's pretty much it. And I gotta be honest with you guys, with the whole pandemic and everything, AEW, WWE, I don't think there's one doing better than the other. But I have actually said numerous times that there's one company specifically who continues to get people talking. Whether it's for good or for bad, they get people talking, and this company is Impact Wrestling. And I think more people need to be talking about Impact Wrestling. More specifically, in today's little video, you guys might be listening to this on Spotify, you guys might be listening to this on YouTube. I want to talk about the Ethan Carter III situation because there is some new developments that are coming out that EC3 is no longer with the company, and I'm shocked. But not only am I shocked, I'm concerned. Because as you guys know, earlier this year, when many WWE superstars were let go during the beginning of COVID-19 pandemic, of course, Impact Wrestling was the one who sent airwaves. Because Impact Wrestling signed quite a few names that were totally unexpected. Now, EC3 has done a really good job of building some sort of storyline, some sort of gimmick, especially on Twitter, you know, with controlling your narrative. And then, of course, he came to Impact Wrestling, and he did that. But he recently lost a match against Moose. It was a cinematic match, and, you know, a lot of people were talking about this, and they just feel like for him to lose the match, something was up. And, of course, that is true because he is no longer with the company. Now, the real question is whether or not Impact Wrestling losing EC3 was something that they've known all along, because nobody really knows his contract status with the company. We know that at one point while he was with Impact, he was working some tapings for ROH, and it is being reported that EC3 will go and work ROH for the rest of the year. But it has us asking this question: was EC3 actually signed to Impact Wrestling, or was EC3 in a situation where, with him going to Impact Wrestling, he really was a free agent this entire time? And it sucks because a guy like EC3, while I am a big fan of Moose, I don't know if his first real big storyline back in the company should have been Moose. Like, I don't know if he should have lost that cinematic match. But again, it makes sense if EC3 is not actually with the company. But this is my problem with Impact, and I think a lot of people tend to forget this. Impact Wrestling sometimes has the tendency to announce signings or contract extensions or things that, in my opinion, just really aren't real. I know that's kind of a hard thing to kind of dive into, but it's not the first time that Impact Wrestling has announced something or has had people come into their company for a short period of time. Nonetheless, EC3 is now with Impact Wrestling, and I'm really just scratching my head as to why or what went wrong, what happened. Now, of course, with it being a pandemic, is this a situation where maybe EC3 wasn't happy with the company this time around? Was it a situation where, you know, he really does want to be a free agent? He does want to go touch down, you know, in other wrestling companies? I'm not really sure. I guess that kind of goes with the whole control your narrative thing. But EC3 is in a very, very, very interesting situation because without him committing to a long-term deal with either Impact or AEW, one has to wonder if EC3 could potentially be signing maybe again with WWE or AEW. And the reason why I bring this up is because during the pandemic, you have to work, right? Like, you got to make money, especially when there's no money on the table. But you also have to remember WWE letting go of EC3. It was a very, very weird situation because WWE didn't really utilize EC3. But also at the same time, too, WWE didn't want EC3 to go to AEW. So at the end of the day, for me as a pro wrestling fan, not as somebody who analyzes or watches and makes videos on it, but as a wrestling fan, I want to see EC3 get that big push on WWE television. So, you know, at this point, I think EC3 will never go back to WWE. I think after his failed run as Derek Bateman and now Ethan Carter III, I think this guy is going to control his narrative outside. But if there's one company that will do something good with this character, it is Impact or AEW. And he's no longer with Impact. So I want to know what you guys think. Definitely let me know. Social media at AngoPW. And then, of course, you know, YouTube comment section and stuff like that. But I want to know what you guys think. Very, very interesting stuff. EC3 no longer with Impact Wrestling. I'm not really sure why or what went wrong, but I want to know. So let me know what you guys think, and I'll be chatting with you guys. All right, take care.